Have you ever taken a deep breath and really thought about what's happening inside your body? Right now, without even noticing, your lungs are working non-stop, pulling in oxygen, pushing out carbon dioxide, and keeping every cell in your body alive. It's automatic, it's silent, and most of the time we completely ignore it. But what if I told you that your lungs could be slowly getting weaker every single day, and you might not even feel it yet? Your lungs are one of the most important organs in your body, yet they are also one of the most neglected. Every breath you take travels through a complex system of airways, reaching tiny air sacs called alveoli. These sacs are responsible for exchanging oxygen into your bloodstream and removing waste gases. It sounds simple, but it's actually an incredibly delicate process. And the scary part is this system can be damaged slowly over time without obvious signs. One of the biggest threats to your lungs is the air you breathe every day. Pollution, smoke, dust, and harmful chemicals are all around us. Even if you don't smoke, you're still exposed to polluted air, especially in cities or crowded areas. Over time, these tiny particles enter your lungs and cause inflammation. Your body tries to fight it, but constant exposure makes it harder to recover. Slowly, your lung function begins to decline. Now let's talk about smoking, because this is one of the most direct ways people damage their lungs. Every puff of cigarette smoke contains thousands of harmful chemicals, many of which are toxic and cancer-causing. These chemicals damage the lining of your lungs, destroy the tiny air sacs, and reduce your ability to breathe properly. But here's the reality: lung damage doesn't only happen to heavy smokers. Even occasional smoking or secondhand smoke can have long-term effects. But it's not just smoke and pollution. Your lifestyle plays a huge role in lung health. If you spend most of your time sitting, not moving, and not exercising, your lungs don't get the chance to fully expand and strengthen. Physical activity forces your lungs to work harder, improving their capacity and efficiency. Without it, your breathing becomes shallow, and your lungs don't perform at their best. Another hidden factor is indoor air quality. Many people think they're safe inside their homes, but the truth is, indoor air can sometimes be more polluted than outdoor air. Dust, mold, cleaning chemicals, and poor ventilation can all affect your lungs over time. Breathing in these particles daily can irritate your airways and lead to long-term problems. The problem with lung damage is that it doesn't always show immediate symptoms. You might feel fine today, but years later, you could start experiencing shortness of breath, chronic coughing, or fatigue. Conditions like asthma, chronic bronchitis, and other lung diseases don't happen overnight, they develop slowly. That's why prevention is so important. Now here's the good news: your lungs are incredibly resilient. They have the ability to heal and improve if you start taking care of them. The first step is being aware of your environment, avoiding polluted areas when possible, wearing protection if needed, and keeping your living space clean can reduce harmful exposure. Breathing exercises are another powerful tool. Simple techniques like deep breathing can help expand your lungs, improve oxygen flow, and strengthen your respiratory system. Try taking slow, deep breaths. Inhale fully, hold for a few seconds, then exhale slowly. It may seem simple, but doing this regularly can improve your lung function over time. Staying active is also essential. Whether it's walking, jogging, or doing light workouts, movement forces your lungs to adapt and become stronger. The more you move, the better your lungs perform. It's not about intense exercise, it's about consistency. Hydration also plays a role. Drinking enough water helps keep the lining of your lungs thin, making it easier to breathe and improving overall function. Many people overlook this, but even mild dehydration can affect your respiratory system, and if you smoke, quitting is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. It's not easy, but your lungs begin to repair themselves almost immediately after you stop. Over time, your risk of serious diseases decreases, and your breathing improves. Your lungs are your connection to life itself. Every breath you take is fuel for your body, your brain, and your energy. Without healthy lungs, even the simplest tasks become difficult. Walking, talking, even resting can feel exhausting when your lungs are not functioning properly. So take a moment right now, pause, and take a deep breath. That breath is life. It's something you do thousands of times a day without thinking. But maybe it's time to start paying attention, because the way you treat your lungs today will determine how well you breathe tomorrow at the end of the day. Your lungs don't ask for much. They just need clean air, movement, and care. And in return, they give you something priceless: the ability to live, to move, and to experience every moment. Don't wait until it's too late to appreciate them. Start now. Protect your lungs, because every breath matters. But here's something most people don't realize. Your lungs are directly connected to how you feel every single day, not just physically but mentally as well. When your lungs aren't getting enough oxygen into your bloodstream, your brain is one of the first organs to feel it. You might experience brain fog, difficulty concentrating, or even sudden fatigue without understanding why. That low energy feeling you sometimes blame on lack of sleep could actually be your body struggling to get enough oxygen. Think about moments when you're stressed or anxious. Your breathing becomes fast and shallow. You take shorter breaths, and your chest tightens. This kind of breathing limits oxygen intake and can make your body feel even more tense. Over time, if this becomes your normal breathing pattern, it can affect your overall health. That's why learning how to control your breathing isn't just relaxing, it's essential. Let's try something simple. Imagine slowing everything down. You inhale deeply through your nose, allowing your lungs to fully expand. Then you hold that breath for a few seconds and slowly exhale through your mouth. When you do this, you're not just breathing, you're resetting your body. Your heart rate slows down, your muscles relax, and your brain receives more oxygen. This is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to support your lungs and your entire system. Now let's talk about another silent danger: modern lifestyle. Today, many people spend most of their time indoors, sitting for long hours, staring at screens, and barely moving. This kind of lifestyle doesn't just affect your muscles or posture, it affects your lungs too. When you sit for long periods, your breathing becomes shallow, and your lung capacity decreases. Over time, this can make you feel constantly tired and less energetic. Your posture also plays a big role in how well your lungs function. Slouching compresses your lungs, reducing their ability to expand fully. That means less oxygen enters your body with each breath. Simply sitting or standing up straight can instantly improve your breathing and allow your lungs to work more efficiently. It's a small change, but it can have a big impact. Let's not forget about infections and illnesses. Your lungs are constantly exposed to the outside world, making them vulnerable to viruses and bacteria. Conditions like colds, flu, and more serious respiratory infections can weaken your lungs, especially if your immune system is not strong. This is why taking care of your overall health, eating properly, sleeping well, and staying active is crucial for protecting your lungs. Another important factor is the environment you sleep in. Many people don't realize that poor air quality while sleeping can affect breathing throughout the night. Dust, allergens, and even poor ventilation can irritate your lungs and disrupt your rest. You might wake up feeling tired, not because you didn't sleep long enough, but because your body didn't get the quality oxygen it needed during sleep. And here's something powerful: your lungs actually have the ability to improve when you challenge them. Activities like walking uphill, light jogging, swimming, or even controlled breathing exercises can gradually increase your lung capacity. Over time, your lungs become more efficient, meaning you can take in more oxygen with less effort. This leads to better stamina, more energy, and improved overall health. But just like any part of your body, if you ignore your lungs for too long, the damage can become harder to reverse. That's why awareness is everything. You don't have to wait until you feel short of breath or develop a serious condition to start caring for your lungs. Prevention is always easier than treatment. Now imagine your future for a moment. Imagine being able to move freely, breathe deeply, and live without limitations. Compare that to struggling for air, feeling tired from simple tasks, or relying on medication just to breathe comfortably. The difference between those two futures often comes down to the choices you make today. Your lungs are with you every second of your life. They are working right now as you listen to this. They don't complain. They don't stop, but they do respond to how you treat them. Every healthy choice you make strengthens them. Every harmful habit weakens them. So the next time you step outside, take a breath, but be aware of what you're breathing in. The next time you feel stressed, pause and control your breathing. The next time you think about skipping movement or choosing unhealthy habits, remember what's at stake. Because in the end, breathing is not just automatic, it's essential. It's life itself. And the better you take care of your lungs, the better your life will be. Now let's take a step further and really understand what that means in your everyday life. Every goal you have, every dream you're chasing, every moment you want to enjoy, it all depends on something as simple as your ability to breathe freely. Imagine trying to run, laugh, talk, or even sleep peacefully while struggling to catch your breath. It changes everything. And for many people around the world, that is their reality. There are individuals who wake up every day already tired, not because they didn't rest, but because their lungs are not strong enough to support their body. Simple activities like walking upstairs, carrying groceries, or even having a long conversation can feel exhausting. And what's even more heartbreaking is that many of these situations could have been prevented with better habits and awareness earlier in life. But this isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up. Because right now, you still have the power to take control of your health. Your lungs are still working for you. And the choices you make starting today can either protect them or slowly damage them. Let's talk about awareness again, but this time on a deeper level. Pay attention to your breathing throughout the day. Is it fast and shallow, or slow and deep? Most people don't realize that they've trained their bodies into unhealthy breathing patterns without even knowing it. Shallow breathing limits oxygen intake and can keep your body in a constant state of low energy. But the moment you become aware of it, you can begin to change it. Try building a habit of conscious breathing. Even just a few minutes a day breathing slowly, deeply, and with control can train your lungs to become more efficient. Over time, this improves your oxygen levels, reduces stress, and gives you a sense of calm and control. It's one of the simplest habits yet one of the most powerful. Now let's connect this to longevity or future. People often focus on living longer, but rarely think about how they will live. What's the point of a long life if your body feels weak, your energy is low, and your breathing is limited? Taking care of your lungs isn't just about avoiding disease, it's about maintaining freedom. The freedom to move, to explore, to live without limitations. Think about athletes for a moment. One of the reasons they perform so well is because of their lung capacity and efficiency. Their bodies are trained to use oxygen effectively, giving them more stamina and endurance. But here's the important part: you don't have to be an athlete to improve your lungs. Even small, consistent efforts can lead to big changes over time. And let's not forget the environment you choose to live in. Surrounding yourself with cleaner air, avoiding unnecessary exposure to smoke or harmful chemicals, and keeping your space well ventilated can make a huge difference. These are small decisions, but they protect your lungs every single day. Now imagine this: you wake up feeling refreshed. You move through your day with energy, you breathe deeply without effort, and you feel in control of your body. That's what healthy lungs can give you. It's not just about survival, it's about quality of life. But here's the truth: most people don't think about their lungs until something goes wrong, until breathing becomes difficult, until every inhale feels like work. Don't wait for that moment. Don't wait for your body to force you to pay attention. Instead, start now. Start with one deep breath, then another. Build awareness. Build better habits. Take care of your body little by little, because every breath you take is an opportunity to live better, to feel better, and to become stronger. At the end of it all, your lungs are giving you something priceless every second of your life, and all they ask in return is care. So protect them, strengthen them, and never take a single breath for granted. And as we move forward, there's something even deeper you need to understand. Your breathing doesn't just keep you alive, it shapes the way you experience life. The way you breathe can influence your energy, your emotions, your focus, and even your decisions. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. When your breathing is steady and controlled, your body feels calm, your mind becomes clearer, and you're able to think and act with more control. But when your breathing is unstable, fast, shallow, or strained, it can make everything feel harder than it really is. Think about moments when you felt nervous, overwhelmed, or afraid. Your breathing changed instantly. It became quicker, tighter, almost uncomfortable. That's your body reacting, preparing for stress. Now imagine living like that every day, your lungs never fully expanding, your body constantly tense. Over time, that doesn't just affect your lungs, it affects your entire health. That's why learning to slow down your breathing is not just relaxing. It's a form of control over your body and your life. Let's take this into real-life situations. Imagine you're about to face something challenging: an exam, a big decision, or even a difficult conversation. Most people let their emotions take over. But those who understand that breathing can pause, take a deep breath, and reset themselves in seconds. That one action can change how they respond. It can turn panic into calm, fear into focus. This is how powerful your lungs really are. Now let's talk about consistency. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for motivation before taking care of their health. They say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll do it when I feel ready." But your lungs don't wait. They continue working, whether you take care of them or not. That's why small, consistent actions are more important than big, temporary changes. You don't need to completely change your life overnight. You just need to start. Start by being mindful of your breathing. Start by choosing to move your body, even for a few minutes. Start by drinking more water. Start by avoiding harmful habits, even if it's one step at a time. These small actions may seem simple, but over time they build a stronger, healthier body and stronger lungs. And here's something many people forget: your lungs are part of a system. They work closely with your heart, your brain, and every other organ in your body. When your lungs are healthy, your blood carries more oxygen, your brain functions better, and your body feels more alive. But when your lungs struggle, everything else has to work harder. This is why taking care of your lungs improves your overall health, not just your breathing. Now picture your life years from now. Will you be able to walk freely, breathe deeply, and enjoy every moment? Or will simple activities feel exhausting? The answer depends on what you do today. Every habit you build, every choice you make, it all adds up. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's about understanding that your body is always responding to your actions. And the more you take care of it, the more it will take care of you. So take a moment right now. Pause, inhale deeply. Feel your lungs expand. Hold it for a second. Then slowly breathe out. That simple act is something you've done thousands of times, but now you're aware of it. And that awareness is where change begins. Because at the end of the day, Your lungs are not just helping you survive, they're helping you live. Every breath is a chance to feel stronger, calmer, and more in control. And the more you respect that, the more powerful your life becomes. So don't ignore your breathing. Don't take your lungs for granted. Take care of them. Train them. Protect them, and they will carry you through every moment of your life, one breath at a time. And now, let's go even deeper, because understanding your lungs is not just about knowing what they do, but realizing how much of your life depends on how well they function. Every single cell in your body relies on oxygen to produce energy. This process, happening silently inside you, is what allows you to think clearly, move freely, and feel alive. Without enough oxygen, your body doesn't just slow down, it begins to struggle, and your lungs are at the center of that entire process. Think about energy for a moment. Many people chase energy through coffee, sugar, or quick fixes. But real, lasting energy doesn't come from stimulants, it comes from oxygen. When your lungs are strong and efficient, they deliver more oxygen into your bloodstream. That oxygen fuels your muscles, sharpens your brain, and stabilizes your mood. But when your lungs are weak or underperforming, your body has to work harder just to keep up, leaving you feeling tired, unfocused, and drained. Now imagine two people living completely different lives. One takes shallow breaths, rarely moves, and spends most of their time indoors with poor air quality. The other practices deep breathing, stays active, and makes conscious choices to protect their lungs. Over time, the difference between these two people becomes massive. One feels constantly low on energy, while the other feels more alive, more capable, and more in control of their body. And the biggest difference between them, how they treat their lungs. Let's talk about awareness in a more practical way. Right now, as you're listening, ask yourself, how are you breathing? Is your chest tight? Are your breaths short and quick? Or are they deep, slow, and controlled? Most people don't even notice that they've been breathing incorrectly for years. But the moment you start paying attention, you gain the ability to change it. One powerful habit you can build is diaphragmatic breathing, also known as deep belly breathing. Instead of letting your chest rise, you allow your stomach to expand as you inhale. This means you're using your diaphragm, the muscle that helps your lungs fully expand. When you breathe this way, you take in more oxygen, reduce stress, and improve your overall lung efficiency. It may feel unnatural at first, but with practice it becomes your new normal. Now let's connect this to your daily routine. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, your lungs are constantly adapting to your environment and your actions. If you wake up and immediately check your phone, sit down for long periods, and barely move, your breathing stays shallow. But if you start your day with movement, even simple stretching or walking, you activate your lungs and increase oxygen flow throughout your body. Your environment matters more than you think. The air you breathe at home, at work, or outside can either support your lungs or slowly harm them. Dust, smoke, chemicals, and poor ventilation all contribute to lung stress. Even something as simple as opening a window, cleaning your space regularly, or adding plants can improve air quality and support your breathing. And then there's posture, something so simple, yet so overlooked. When you slouch, you compress your lungs and limit their ability to expand. Over time, this reduces your breathing capacity and can leave you feeling constantly tired. But when you sit or stand upright, your lungs have more space to function properly. It's a small adjustment that can instantly improve how you breathe. Let's also talk about the long-term impact of neglect. Many lung-related issues don't appear overnight. They build slowly, silently, over years of habits and exposure. By the time symptoms appear, the damage may already be significant. This is why prevention is so important. You don't wait for a problem to start taking care of your lungs. You do it now while you still have control. But here's the empowering part: your lungs are incredibly adaptable. When you start making better choices, they respond. When you breathe deeply, they expand more. When you exercise, they become stronger. When you avoid harmful substances, they begin to repair. Your body is always trying to improve, it just needs your support. Let's shift into something more personal. Think about your future self. Picture yourself years from now. Are you full of energy, moving freely, breathing deeply without effort? Or are you struggling with simple tasks, feeling limited by your own body? That future isn't random, it's built by what you do today. Every deep breath you take is like a small investment in your health. Every time you choose to move instead of staying still, you strengthen your lungs. Every time you avoid harmful habits, you protect your future. These actions may seem small, but over time, they create powerful results. Now let's talk about discipline. Taking care of your lungs isn't something you do once, it's something you commit to. It's about building habits that become part of your lifestyle. It's about choosing what's good for you, even when it's not the easiest option. Because the truth is, your future health depends on your daily choices. There will be days when you feel lazy, unmotivated, or distracted. Days when you don't feel like moving or paying attention to your breathing. That's normal. But those are the moments that matter the most. Because every time you choose to take care of yourself despite how you feel, you're building strength not just in your body, but in your mindset. And let's not forget your lungs are connected to your emotions. Deep, steady breathing can calm anxiety, reduce stress, and bring clarity to your mind. It's one of the most natural ways to control how you feel. Instead of letting emotions control your breathing, you can use your breathing to control your emotions. Now imagine living your life with that level of awareness. You don't just react, you respond. You don't just survive, you thrive. And it all starts with something as simple as how you breathe. Take another moment right now. Inhale slowly. Feel your lungs fill with air. Hold it, then release it gently. That's not just breathing, that's control, awareness, and life. At the end of this journey, remember this, your lungs are always working for you. They don't stop, they don't rest. They give you the ability to live every second of your life. And in return, all they need is your care, your attention, and your respect. So protect them, strengthen them, be aware of them, because the better you breathe, the better you live. And every breath you take is a reminder that you're still here, still alive, and still capable of becoming stronger than you were yesterday. And as you continue to understand your lungs on a deeper level, there's one truth that becomes clearer than ever. Your breathing is something you can train, just like a muscle. Most people think breathing is automatic, and while that's true, the quality of your breathing is something you can improve over time. The difference between someone who feels constantly tired and someone who feels energized often comes down to how efficiently their body uses oxygen. Let's explore that idea. When your lungs are strong and well-trained, they don't have to work as hard to deliver oxygen to your body. This means your heart doesn't have to pump as aggressively, your muscles don't fatigue as quickly, and your brain stays sharp for longer periods. But when your lungs are weak, your body enters a constant state of effort. Everything feels heavier, slower, and more exhausting. That's why improving your breathing can actually make your entire life feel easier. Now think about how often you truly challenge your lungs. Most daily activities don't push your breathing beyond its comfort zone. You sit, you walk a little, maybe do light movements, but your lungs are capable of so much more. When you engage in activities that elevate your breathing like brisk walking, jogging, cycling, or even controlled breathing exercises, you are training your lungs to expand their capacity. Over time, this increases endurance and makes everyday tasks feel effortless. But training your lungs isn't just about physical activity, it's also about control. One of the most powerful techniques you can develop is breath control under pressure. This means learning how to stay calm and breathe properly even when your body wants to panic. Whether you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or physically tired, controlling your breath allows you to stay grounded. It gives you control in situations where most people lose it. There's also a connection between your lungs and your immune system that many people overlook. Your respiratory system acts as one of your body's first lines of defense. Every time you inhale, your lungs filter out harmful particles and microorganisms. But when your lungs are weakened, whether by pollution, smoking, or poor health habits, this defense system becomes less effective. That's when your body becomes more vulnerable to illness. This is why strengthening your lungs doesn't just improve breathing, it helps protect your entire body. It's like building a shield from the inside. And in a world where we're constantly exposed to environmental risks, having strong lungs is more important than ever. Now let's talk about recovery. Your lungs, just like any part of your body, need time to recover and repair. This happens mostly during rest and sleep. When you're sleeping, your breathing pattern changes, allowing your body to restore balance and repair tissues. But if your sleep is poor, interrupted, too short, or uncomfortably, your lungs don't get the recovery they need. Over time, this can affect your energy, your mood, and your overall health. That's why creating a good sleep environment is essential. Clean air, proper ventilation, and a comfortable position can improve how you breathe during sleep. Even something as simple as sleeping on your side instead of your back can help some people breathe more easily. Let's bring this back to awareness again, but this time think of it as a daily practice. Imagine going through your day with a constant awareness of your breathing, not in a stressful way, but in a mindful way. You notice when your breathing becomes shallow, and you correct it. You notice when you're slouching, and you fix your posture. You notice when you've been inactive for too long, and you choose to move. This level of awareness changes everything. It turns small actions into powerful habits. And over time, those habits transform your health. Now, here's something important. Progress takes time. You won't transform your lungs overnight. Just like building strength in your body, improving your breathing is a gradual process. But the moment you start, you're already ahead of where you were before. Every deep breath, every healthy choice, every moment of awareness, it all adds up. And along the way, you'll start to notice changes. You'll feel less tired. Your mind will feel clearer. You'll have more control over your emotions. You'll move with more ease. These are signs that your body is responding, adapting, and becoming stronger. But don't forget, this journey is personal. It's not about comparing yourself to others. It's about improving your own life, one breath at a time. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep going, so as you continue watching, listening, and learning, remember, your lungs are one of your greatest assets. They give you life, energy, and the ability to experience the world around you. And the more you take care of them, the more they will give back to you, because, in the end, breathing isn't just something you do, it's something you can master. And once you do, you unlock a level of health, control, and awareness that most people never reach. So keep going, keep breathing, to keep improving. Your future self is depending on the choices you make right now. And as you keep moving forward on this journey, there's an even deeper layer to understand. Your lungs don't just support your body, they shape your limits. The way you breathe can determine how far you can go, how long you can endure, and how well you can handle challenges in life. Many people think their limits are physical or mental, but often, it's their breathing that holds them back. Think about any moment where you felt pushed to your limit, by droning, carrying something heavy, or even dealing with intense stress. What was the first thing that changed? Your breathing. It became faster, shorter, and harder to control. That's your body telling you it's reaching its limit. But here's the powerful part: when you train your breathing, you can push those limits further. People who practice controlled breathing are able to stay calm under pressure, recover faster, and perform better in difficult situations. This doesn't just apply to athletes, it applies to everyday life. Whether you're dealing with pressure at work, school, or personal challenges, your breathing can either work against you or for you. Now let's talk about recovery and resilience. Your lungs play a huge role in how quickly your body recovers from effort, stress, or even illness. When your lungs are efficient, they deliver oxygen faster, helping your muscles relax and your body return to a normal state. But when your breathing is weak or uncontrolled, recovery takes longer, and you feel drained for extended periods. This is why people who focus on their breathing often feel more balanced. They're not just physically stronger, they're more resilient. They bounce back faster from stress, fatigue, and challenges, and that resilience becomes a major advantage in life. Let's take a moment to talk about habits again, but from a long-term perspective. Every day, you are either building your lungs or weakening them. There is no neutral. Sitting for long hours, breathing shallowly, exposing yourself to poor air quality, these slowly reduce your lung efficiency. On the other hand, moving your body, practicing deep breathing, and staying aware of your environments, these strengthen your lungs over time. Now imagine this over years. The difference becomes massive. One person struggles with energy, breathing, and overall health. The other feels strong, capable, and in control. And again, it all comes down to consistent daily choices. Another important aspect is how your lungs influence your confidence. It may sound surprising, but your breathing affects how you carry yourself. When you breathe deeply and maintain good posture, you naturally appear more confident and feel more in control. Your voice becomes steadier, your movements more relaxed, and your presence stronger. But when your breathing is shallow and tense, it can make you feel anxious, uncertain, and less confident. So in a way, your lungs are not just supporting your body, they're influencing how you show up in the world. Now let's talk about something that most people overlook completely: gratitude for your breath. It might sound simple, but think about it. You've taken thousands of breaths today without even noticing, each one keeping you alive, each one giving your body what it needs. Yet we rarely stop to appreciate it. When you start to become aware of your breathing, you also begin to appreciate it, and that appreciation can change how you treat your body. You become more mindful, more careful, and more intentional with your habits. You stop taking your health for granted. Let's bring everything together now. Your lungs are constantly working, constantly adapting, and constantly responding to your choices. They are affected by how you move, how you sit, how you eat, how you sleep, and even how you think. They are deeply connected to every part of your life. And the most powerful thing is this: you have control. You have the ability to improve your breathing, strengthen your lungs, and protect your health. It doesn't require anything complicated. It starts with awareness, followed by small, consistent actions. So from this moment on, make a simple commitment. Pay attention to your breathing. Take deeper breaths. Move your body more. Choose habits that support your lungs instead of harming them. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just have to be consistent. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that these small actions made a huge difference. You'll feel stronger, healthier, and more in control of your life. And when that moment comes, you'll understand something truly important: that breathing was never just automatic. It was always an opportunity to live better, to feel better, and to become better. So take that breath right now. Slow it down, feel it fully, and remember, your lungs are not just keeping you alive, they are giving you the power to truly live. Now, let's shift your perspective even further. Because once you truly understand your breathing, you begin to see life differently. You stop rushing through moments, and you start experiencing them. Every breath becomes something you notice, not in a forced way, but in a way that grounds you. It reminds you that you are here, present, and alive. And in a world where everything moves so fast, that awareness alone is powerful. Think about how often people live on autopilot, waking up, checking their phones, rushing through the day, barely noticing their own bodies. In that state, breathing becomes shallow, fast, and unnoticed. But the moment you slow down and take control of your breath, everything changes. Your thoughts become clearer, your body feels lighter, even your emotions begin to settle. It's like hitting a reset button that's always been there, you just never used it. Now imagine applying that in your daily life. When things get overwhelming, instead of reacting immediately, you pause. You take a deep breath. That single moment creates space between you and your reaction. It allows you to respond with clarity instead of emotion. Over time, this becomes a habit. You become calmer, more focused, and more in control, not because life got easier, but because you learned how to handle it better. Let's talk about control in a different way. Most people try to control everything around them, their environment, other people, outcomes, but forget to control the one thing they always have access to, their breathing. And when you master that, you realize something important: you don't need to control everything outside, because you've already learned to control what's inside. This kind of control builds confidence, not the loud, external kind, but a quiet, steady confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you can handle stress, pressure, and challenges without falling apart. And it all starts with something as simple as a breath. Now let's go deeper into your future again. Imagine years from now, you've built the habit of mindful breathing. You've taken care of your lungs, stayed active, and made better choices consistently. You wake up feeling energized. You move without struggle. You breathe deeply without effort. Life feels smoother, lighter, and more enjoyable. Now compare that to a life where breathing becomes difficult, where simple tasks feel exhausting, where your body feels heavy, and every breath feels like work. That contrast is powerful, and it's real. The direction you move in depends on what you do starting today. Your lungs are constantly responding to your environment and your habits. Clean air, movement, and awareness strengthen them. Pollution, inactivity, and neglect weaken them. It's not complicated, but it does require consistency. Let's bring in another idea: discipline versus motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel like taking care of yourself, and some days you don't. But discipline is what keeps you going anyway. It's choosing to take a deep breath when you're stressed. It's choosing to move when you feel lazy. It's choosing habits that support your health, even when it's inconvenient. And over time, discipline turns into identity. You're no longer someone trying to be healthy. You become someone who naturally takes care of their body. Someone who breathes deeply, moves regularly, and values their health. And once that shift happens, everything becomes easier. Now let's talk about connection. Your breath connects you to your body. It connects your mind to your physical state. It even connects you to the present moment. When you're fully aware of your breathing, you're no longer stuck in the past or worried about the future. You're here. And that's where life actually happens. This is why practices like meditation and mindfulness focus so much on breathing. It's not complicated or mysterious, it's simply effective. Your breath is always there, always available, always ready to bring you back to center. And here's something powerful to remember: you don't need perfect conditions to start. You don't need special equipment, a perfect environment, or a specific time. You can take control of your breathing anytime, anywhere, right now, in this moment. You can choose to inhale deeply, slow things down, and reset your body. That's how accessible it is. That's how powerful it is. So, as this journey continues, don't just listen to don't just understand, practice. Because knowledge without action doesn't change anything. But small actions, repeated every day, can completely transform your life. Take care of your lungs not just because you have to, but because you want to live better. Move your body not just for appearance, but for strength and energy. Breathe deeply not just for survival, but for control and clarity. Because at the end of everything, when all distractions fade away, what remains is simple: your breath. In and out, steady, constant, life itself. So protect it, strengthen it, respect it, and never forget, every single breath you take is another chance to improve, to grow, and to truly live. Asterisk. And as you continue on this path, there's one more realization that can completely change how you see your life. Your breath is always with you. In every moment, in every situation, no matter where you are or what you're going through. It's the one thing that never leaves you. And because of that, it becomes your most reliable tool for control, strength, and balance. Think about that for a second. No matter how stressful your day gets, no matter how overwhelmed you feel, your breath is there. You don't need to search for it. You don't need to wait for the right time. It's always available. And the moment you focus on it, you gain access to a sense of calm that most people spend their whole lives chasing. But here's the difference: most people never use it. They go through life reacting rushing, stressing, and overthinking without ever realizing they have a built-in way to reset themselves. And that's what makes this so powerful. Once you understand it, you can't unsee it. You start noticing your breathing in moments where you never paid attention before, when you're nervous, when you're excited, when you're tired, or even when you're just sitting still. Now let's talk about pressure. Life will always have pressure. Challenges, responsibilities, unexpected situations, they're all part of the journey. But what separates people who handle pressure well from those who struggle is not just mindset, it's how they control their body under stress. And breathing plays a huge role in that. When pressure hits, your body naturally reacts. Your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes faster, and your muscles tighten. If you don't control it, that reaction can take over. But if you've trained your breathing, you can interrupt that process. You can slow your breath, calm your body, and regain control. It's not just helpful, it's life-changing. Now imagine applying that in real situations. You're facing something difficult, a problem, a decision, or a stressful moment. Instead of panicking, you pause. You breathe deeply. You give yourself a second to think clearly. That one small action can completely change the outcome of that moment. Over time, this becomes part of who you are. You don't just react or respond. You don't just feel overwhelmed, you manage it. And that level of control gives you an advantage in every area of life. Let's also talk about endurance. Not just physical endurance, but mental and emotional endurance. Your lungs play a role in all of it. When your breathing is controlled, your body uses energy more efficiently. You don't burn out as quickly. You can stay focused longer. You can handle challenges without feeling drained immediately. This is why people who practice controlled breathing often perform better, not just in sports, but in work, studies, and everyday life. They're able to stay steady when things get difficult, and that steadiness is what allows them to keep going when others stop. Now here's something even deeper. Your breathing can influence your habits. When you become more aware of your breath, you naturally become more aware of your body. And when you're more aware, you start making better choices. You notice when something feels off. You notice when you're tired, stressed, or unhealthy. And that awareness pushes you to improve. It's like a chain reaction. Better breathing leads to better awareness. Better awareness leads to better decisions. And better decisions lead to a better life. But remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. There will be days when you forget, days when you fall back into old habits, and that's okay. What matters is that you come back to it. You take another deep breath, reset, and continue. Because every time you do that, you're reinforcing a powerful habit. You're reminding your body that you are in control. Now let's bring everything together one more time. Your lungs are not just organs inside your body, they are a system of life. Constantly working, constantly adapting, constantly supporting you. They respond to your environment, your habits, your thoughts, and your actions. And the more you understand them, the more you realize how much control you actually have. So don't wait for a problem to take your health seriously. Don't wait for a moment where breathing becomes difficult. Start now, while everything is still working in your favor. Take care of your lungs. Move your body. Improve your environment. Be mindful of your breathing. These are simple actions, but they have powerful results over time. And most importantly, don't take your breath for granted. It's easy to ignore something that happens, but once you lose it, you realize how valuable it truly is. And as we continue this journey, there's one final layer that brings everything together. The realization that your breath is not just something happening inside your body, but something that can shape the direction of your life. It sounds simple, but when you truly understand it, it changes how you approach everything. Your lungs are always responding to you, not just to what you breathe in, but to how you live. Your pace, your stress, your habits, your environment, all of it sends signals to your body, and your breathing reflects that. When your life feels rushed, your breathing becomes rushed. When your mind feels heavy, your breathing becomes tight. But when you slow down, even just for a moment, your breathing follows. And when your breathing changes, your body follows too. This is where everything connects: your body, your mind, and your actions. Your lungs sit right in the middle of that connection. They are influenced by your thoughts, but they can also influence your thoughts. That means you have a two-way system of control. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can always control how you breathe through it. Now think about how powerful that is in real life. Imagine facing a difficult moment, something that would normally overwhelm you. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause. You take a deep breath. That breath gives you space. That space gives you clarity, and that clarity allows you to respond in a way that's stronger, calmer, and more in control. Over time, these small moments build something bigger: is the ability to handle pressure, to stay steady in chaos, and to move forward even when things are difficult. And once you build that, life doesn't feel as overwhelming anymore. You're still facing challenges, but you're facing them differently. Let's also talk about identity one more time, because this is where real change happens. When you consistently take care of your breathing, your lungs, and your health, It stops being something you try to do, it becomes who you are. You become someone who values their body, someone who pays attention, someone who chooses long-term strength over short-term comfort. And that identity affects everything else in your life. The way you think, the way you act, the way you handle situations, it all improves. Not because you forced it, but because you built a strong foundation. Now let's bring this to a very real and simple truth. Every single breath you take is limited. Not in a way to scare you, but in a way to make you aware. You don't have unlimited time. You don't have unlimited energy. But what you do have is this moment, this breath. And when you start valuing each breath, you naturally start valuing your life more. You waste less time on things that don't matter. You become more present, more focused, more intentional. So instead of rushing through your days, take moments to slow down. Notice your breathing. Feel your lungs expand. Remind yourself that you are alive right now. That alone is powerful. And as this video comes closer to its end, remember this: everything we talked about comes back to awareness and action. Knowing about your lungs is one thing, but taking care of them is what truly matters. Small habits, done consistently, will always beat big changes that don't last. So start simple. Breathe deeper. Move more. Sit straighter. Choose cleaner environments when you can. Drink enough water. Rest when your body needs it. These aren't complicated steps, but they are effective, and most importantly, stay aware. Because awareness is what keeps you on track. It's what reminds you to take that deep breath when you forget. It's what helps you come back, again and again. No matter how many times you drift away, at the end of the day, your lungs are always there for you. Quietly working, quietly supporting you, giving you life with every breath. So give something back. Take care of them. Respect them. To strengthen them. Because the way you breathe is the way you live. And if you learn to breathe better, you don't just improve your lungs, you improve your entire life. So take one last deep breath with me. Inhale slowly. Hold it. And now exhale gently. That's it. That's life. And as long as you have that, you have everything you need to keep going, to keep growing, and to keep becoming better, one breath at a time. Asterisk. And even after everything we've talked about, there's still one more perspective that can truly change the way you see your lungs, and that is this: your breath is your responsibility. No one else can do it for you. No one else can take care of your lungs the way you can. And while that may sound simple, it carries a powerful message. Your health is in your hands. Every single day you're making choices. Some are small, almost unknown. Others feel bigger and more important. But when it comes to your lungs, even the smallest decisions matter. Choosing to step outside for fresh air instead of staying in a closed space. Choosing to walk instead of sitting all day. Choosing to take a deep breath instead of staying tense and stressed. These moments may seem small, but they build your future. Now let's talk about responsibility in a different way, not as pressure, but as power. The moment you accept that your breathing and your health are in your control, you also gain the ability to improve them. You're no longer just hoping to feel better, you're actively doing something about it. And that shift changes everything. Think about how many people ignore their health until something goes wrong. They wait for warning signs. They wait for discomfort. They wait for a moment where they're forced to change. But you don't have to wait. You have the chance to act before anything happens. You have the chance to build strength instead of reacting to weakness. And that's what this entire journey has been about. Not fear, not pressure, but awareness and action. Understanding how important your lungs are, and realizing that you have the ability to protect them starting right now. Let's go back to something simple again, your daily routine. Imagine waking up and starting your day with just a few deep breaths. Not rushing, not grabbing your phone immediately, but giving yourself a moment to breathe and wake up fully. That small habit can set the tone for your entire day. As you move through your day, you stay aware. You notice your posture. You notice when you've been sitting too long. You choose to stand, stretch, or move. You take moments to breathe deeply, especially when things get stressful. These aren't big changes, but they create a big impact over time. And at the end of the day, you allow your body to rest. You give your lungs the recovery they need. You create an environment where you can breathe comfortably and sleep properly. Because taking care of your lungs isn't just about action, it's also about recovery. Now let's talk about something deeper. Not in a big, dramatic way, but in a personal way. The way you take care of your body today affects how you live in the future. It affects your energy, your ability to move, your independence, and your quality of life. And when you take care of yourself, you're not just improving your present, you're protecting your future. And here's the truth: most people don't realize how important breathing is until they struggle with it. Until walking becomes tiring. Until simple tasks feel heavy. Until every breath feels like effort. Don't wait for that moment to understand its value. Instead, appreciate it now. Use it now. Improve it now. Because right now, you have something incredibly powerful. Your breath is steady. Your lungs are working, and your body is supporting you. That's an advantage. And what you do with that advantage matters. So take this knowledge and turn it into action. Not all at once, not perfectly, but consistently. Start small, stay aware, keep improving, and remember this: your lungs are with you in every moment, in every step you take, in every word you speak, in every thought you have. They are part of everything you do, so treat them with care. Respect every breath, And never forget that something so simple, something you do every second, has the power to shape your entire life, because in the end it always comes back to this: you breathe. And because you breathe, you live. So make every breath count. And now, as we continue even further, there's something even more important to realize. Your breath is not just a sign that you are alive. It's a reflection of how you are living. Every inhale and exhale carries information about your current state. It tells you if you are calm or stressed, focused or distracted, energized or exhausted. Your lungs don't just support your life, they mirror it. When you begin to notice this, you unlock a deeper level of awareness. You start to understand that your body is constantly communicating with you. The tightness in your chest, the quickness of your breath, the heaviness you sometimes feel, these are not random. They are signals. And the more you listen, the more you understand what your body needs. Now imagine living your life with that kind of awareness every day. Instead of ignoring your body, you respond to it. When you feel stress building, you pause and breathe deeply. When you feel low on energy, you move your body and open your lungs. When you feel overwhelmed, you slow down your breathing and regain control. These small responses create balance, and that balance keeps you strong. Let's talk about rhythm. Your body has a natural rhythm: your heartbeat, your breathing, your energy levels throughout the day. When that rhythm is balanced, everything feels smoother. You think clearly, move easily, and feel more in control. But when that rhythm is disrupted by stress, poor habits, or lack of rest, your breathing changes, and everything begins to feel harder. This is why creating a healthy rhythm in your life is so important. Consistent sleep, regular movement, proper hydration, and mindful breathing all work together to keep your body in balance. And when your body is in balance, your lungs perform at their best. Now let's shift into something even deeper: awareness of time. Every breath you take is a moment passing. You can't get it back. And while that may sound simple, it carries a powerful meaning. Your life is made up of these moments, one breath at a time. The way you use them, the way you experience them, is shaped by how present you are. When you rush through your day without awareness, your breaths become shallow and unnoticed. Time feels like it's slipping away. But when you slow down and become aware of your breathing, even briefly, time feels different. Moments feel fuller. You feel more present, more connected to what's happening around you. This is where breathing becomes more than just a physical act. It becomes a way to experience life more deeply. Now think about your environment again. The air you breathe is something you interact with constantly, yet rarely think about. Clean air supports your lungs, while polluted air challenges them. While you can't always control everything around you, you can make better choices when possible. Opening windows, avoiding smoke-filled areas, and keeping your surroundings clean are simple actions that support your breathing every day. Let's also talk about long-term strength. Building strong lungs is not about quick results, it's about consistency over time. Just like building muscle or improving endurance, your lungs respond to regular effort. Deep breathing exercises, staying active, and maintaining good habits gradually improve your lung capacity and efficiency. And here's the key: once you build that strength, it supports you in everything you do. You feel less tired, more capable, and more in control of your body. Everyday tasks become easier, and challenges feel more manageable. Now let's connect this to mindset. When your breathing is steady, your mind becomes steady. When your breathing is controlled, your thoughts become clearer. This connection between breath and mind is something you can use to your advantage. Instead of letting your thoughts control you, you can use your breathing to guide your state. For example, when you feel anxious, instead of fighting the feeling, you focus on your breath. Slow it down, deepen it. Give your body the signal that everything is okay. And as your breathing changes, your mind begins to follow. This is not just theory, it's something you can practice anytime, anywhere. Now imagine the long-term impact of this. Over weeks, months, and years, these small moments of awareness build a stronger, calmer, and more resilient version of yourself. You don't just react to life, you move through it with control and confidence. But remember, none of this happens without action. Understanding your lungs and your breathing is only the first step. The real change comes from applying what you've learned, from taking those deep breaths, from moving your body, from making better choices, even when it's not easy. There will always be distractions. There will always be moments where you forget. But what matters is that you come back. You return to your breath. You reset. You continue. Because every time you do, you are strengthening a habit that will stay with you for life. Now take another moment. Inhale deeply. Feel your lungs expand fully. Hold it gently, and then release it slowly. That simple act carries everything we've talked about: control, strength, and life. And as you move forward from here, remember this: your lungs are not asking for perfection. They are asking for consistency. Small efforts, repeated over time, that build something stronger. So keep going. Keep breathing deeply. Keep taking care of your body, because at the end of it all, your breath is more than just survival. It's your connection to life itself. And the more you respect it, the more it will give back to you, one breath at a time. And as we keep going, there's an even more powerful idea: to understand your breathing as something you can rely on when everything else feels uncertain. Life will always have moments where things don't go as planned. There will be stress, pressure, unexpected problems, and situations you can't control. But in the middle of all that, your breath remains steady, constant, and available to you. That's what makes it so powerful. It becomes your anchor. When everything feels overwhelming, your breathing is something you can come back to. You don't need anything else. No tools, no equipment, no perfect environment. Just a moment of awareness, just one deep breath, and in that moment, you create space. Space to think, space to calm down, space to regain control. Now imagine what that can do for your life if you practice it consistently. Instead of reacting quickly and emotionally, you become someone who pauses, someone who takes a breath before responding. And that pause, it may only last a few seconds, but it can completely change your decisions, your actions, and your outcomes. Let's talk about clarity. When your breathing is fast and shallow, your mind tends to follow that same pattern. Thoughts become rushed, scattered, and unclear. But when your breathing is slow and controlled, your mind begins to settle. You can think more clearly. You can focus better. You can make decisions with confidence instead of confusion. This is why so many high-performing individuals, whether in sports, business, or other areas, focus on their breathing. Not because it's complicated, but because it works. It gives them an edge. It helps them stay calm under pressure and perform at their best when it matters most. Now let's connect this to patience. In today's world, everything is fast. People want quick results, instant progress, immediate success. But your body doesn't work that way. Your lungs don't become stronger overnight. Your breathing doesn't improve instantly. It takes time, repetition, and consistency. And that's where patience becomes important. You trust the process. You keep practicing. You keep taking those small steps, even when you don't see immediate results. Because over time, those small steps turn into real, lasting change. Let's also talk about awareness of effort. Sometimes, people think they need to do something extreme to improve their health. But when it comes to your lungs, it's often the simple things that matter most. Breathing deeply, moving regularly, avoiding harmful habits, resting properly. These are not complicated actions, but they are powerful when done consistently. Now think about your daily life again. There are so many opportunities to improve your breathing that you might not even notice. Walking from one place to another, sitting at your desk, lying down to rest. In each of these moments, you can choose to breathe better. You can choose to be aware, and over time, that awareness becomes natural. You don't have to remind yourself anymore. It becomes part of who you are. Now let's go deeper into connection. Your lungs don't just connect to your body. They connect to your environment. Every breath you take is influenced by what's around you. Clean air supports your lungs, while polluted air challenges them. This is why being mindful of your surroundings is important. Even small changes in your environment can make a difference. Keeping your space clean, allowing fresh air to flow, avoiding exposure to smoke. These actions protect your lungs over time. And while you may not always control everything, you can still make better choices where possible. Let's also talk about gratitude again, but from a different angle. Not just appreciating your breath, but recognizing its value in your life. Think about everything you do in a day: walking, talking, thinking, working, laughing. All of it depends on your ability to breathe, and yet, it's something we rarely think about. That's why taking a moment to appreciate it can change your perspective. It reminds you of what you have, it grounds you in the present, and it encourages you to take better care of your body. Now as we move closer to the end of this journey, bring everything together one more time. Your lungs are always working for you. They are constantly adapting, constantly supporting you, constantly giving you what you need to live. And in return, all they ask is simple care, awareness, and consistency. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to start. One breath at a time, one small habit at a time. So as you go forward from here, remember everything you've learned. Remember how powerful your breathing is. Remember that you have control. And most importantly, remember that every breath you take is an opportunity to improve, to reset, and to live better. Take a deep breath right now. Feel it. That's your power. That's your life. And it's always been with you. And even now, after everything you've heard, there's still one final truth that can stay with you long after this ends. Your breath is the simplest form of power you have. Yet it's often the most ignored. Not because it's unimportant, but because it's always there. And sometimes the things that are always there are the ones we forget to value the most. But imagine living differently from this point forward. Imagine becoming someone who is aware of their breath, someone who uses it, someone who understands it. That alone separates you from most people. Because while others rush, react, and get overwhelmed, you pause, you breathe, you stay in control. Let's talk about mastery, not in a complicated way, but in a real, practical sense. Mastery of your breathing doesn't mean perfection. It means awareness. It means knowing when your breathing is off and being able to bring it back. It means being able to slow yourself down when everything feels too fast. It means having control over something that most people leave on autopilot. And that mastery carries into every part of your life. When you speak, your breath supports your voice. When you move, your breath supports your strength. When you think, your breath supports your clarity. It's always there, quietly supporting everything you do. Now think about growth. Everyone wants to improve, to get better, to become stronger. But real growth doesn't always come from big changes. It often comes from small, consistent actions repeated over time, and breathing is one of those actions. Every time you choose to breathe deeply instead of shallowly, you're improving. Every time you choose to stay calm instead of reacting, you're growing. Every time you become aware of your body instead of ignoring it, you're building a stronger version of yourself. And over time, those small moments create something powerful. Now let's talk about presence. So many people spend their lives thinking about the past or worrying about the future, and in doing so, they miss what's happening right now. But your breath brings you back. It anchors you to the present moment. When you focus on your breathing, even for a few seconds, you step out of distraction, you step out of stress, you come back to now, and that's where clarity exists. That's where you can actually think, decide, and act with purpose. This is why something so simple can be so powerful, because it connects you to what matters. Now imagine living your life with that level of presence. You're not just going through the motions, you're aware, focused, and in control. You experience moments more deeply. You respond to challenges more calmly. You move through life with more confidence and less stress, and it all starts with something as simple as paying attention to your breath. Let's also talk about consistency one last time, because this is where everything either works or falls apart. You can understand everything we've talked about, but if you don't apply it consistently, nothing changes. But the good news is, you don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to keep coming back to it. Even if you forget during the day, you can always return to your breath. It's always there, waiting for you. That's what makes it so powerful. It's always available, always ready, always part of you. Now as we reach this point, take a moment again, not because you have to, but because you can. Inhale slowly, feel your lungs expand, hold it for just a second, and then exhale gently. That's it. That's the foundation of everything. Your breath, simple, constant, and powerful. And as you move forward from here, carry this with you not just as knowledge, but as something you practice, something you use, something you rely on. Because, in the end, your lungs are not just helping you live, they are giving you the ability to live well. So take care of them, respect them, strengthen them, and never forget that every breath you take is a chance to reset, to improve, and to become better than you were before, one breath at a time. And as everything settles, there's one last layer to truly understand. Your breath is not just something you use in moments of calm or stress. It is something that defines how you move through your entire life. It becomes a pattern, a rhythm that either supports you or holds you back. Most people never question that rhythm. They simply live with whatever breathing pattern they've developed over time. Fast, shallow, unnoticed. But the moment you become aware of it, you begin to take control of that rhythm. And when you control your rhythm, you begin to control your state physically, mentally, and emotionally. Think about how powerful that is. Instead of letting your day control you, you create a steady foundation within yourself. No matter what happens around you, your breathing stays grounded. And because of that, you stay grounded. Situations may change, challenges may come and go, but you remain stable. Now imagine what that does over time. You become someone who is not easily shaken, someone who can face pressure without losing control, someone who doesn't panic when things get difficult, but instead pauses, breathes, and moves forward with clarity. This is where your lungs become more than just organs. They become a tool for stability, a tool for strength, a tool for control. Let's talk about daily life again, but from a different angle. Every moment you spend distracted, stressed, or rushing, your breathing reflects it. But every moment you choose to slow down, even briefly, you reset that pattern. It could be something simple, sitting quietly for a few seconds, taking a deep breath before starting a task, breathing slowly when you feel tension building. These moments may seem small, but they interrupt the cycle of stress and replace it with control. Over time, those interruptions become habits, and those habits become your new normal. Now, let's bring in another idea: efficiency. When your lungs are trained and your breathing is controlled, your body uses energy more efficiently. You don't feel as tired doing simple things. You don't lose focus as quickly. You don't feel overwhelmed as easily. It's not because life became easier, it's because your body became better at handling it. And that's something many people don't realize. Improving your breathing doesn't remove challenges, but it improves your ability to deal with them. Now think about the long-term effect of that. Year after year, small improvements in your breathing lead to better energy, better focus, and better control. And those improvements affect everything else: your work, your relationships, your decisions, your overall quality of life. This is why something so simple can create such a big impact. But again, it comes back to awareness. Without awareness, nothing changes. Without noticing your breathing, it stays the same. But the moment you notice it, you have a choice. And that choice is where change begins. So build that awareness. Practice it daily, not in a complicated way, but in a simple, consistent way. Notice your breath when you wake up. Notice it when you feel stressed. Notice it when you're resting. And each time, guide it back to a slow, steady rhythm. Now take a step back and look at everything you've learned throughout this entire journey. You started with understanding how your lungs work. Then you learned how your habits affect them. Then you discovered how your breathing connects to your mind, your energy, and your control. And now, you understand something deeper, that your breath is always there, always available, always ready to support you. That's something you can carry with you for the rest of your life. So as we reach this final moment, don't just walk away from this as information. Take it with you as a practice, something you use every day, something that becomes part of who you are. Because at the end of everything, when all distractions are gone, when everything else is uncertain, one thing remains constant: breath. So protect it, strengthen it, stay aware of it, and use it, because every breath you take is more than just air moving in and out, it's life moving through you. And as long as you have that, you always have the chance to reset, to improve, and to keep moving forward one breath at a time.